Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. I am warbossfitz, and today we're going to be checking out one-page rules, new Horde mode. Now today it's going to be solo play, machine cults on the defense, and jackals on the offense. Let's go ahead and dig into Horde mode. Now in Horde mode, you start with two 2,000 point armies, one's on offense and one's on defense. So for defense today, these are the machine cults. In this list, we have 2 squads of 10 cult rangers, led by 2 cult leaders with versatile attack and mend. Then we have 1 cult leader leading a unit of 6 cult gunners with the blast weapons, 2 combat robots decked out with all of the guns, and 1 iron walker in the back. Our attacking army today is the jackals. In this jackal army, we have 3 squads of 10 stalkers led by veterans with precision fighting aura, a unit of 10 vultures led by an elite veteran with jump pack, and again, precision fighting aura. 2 squads of 5 elites, armed with shotguns and 1 missile launcher. 2 squads of 10 hounds, and then a great beast being run today as a transport. So in Horde mode, when you set up the board, you're going to have 5 objectives on the board, 1 directly in the middle of the board, and 4 more in each of the table quarters. Now these objectives in Horde mode do some different things than they do in the normal game. As defenders hold the objectives at the end of a wave, they will be given points. 40 points for each objective that they're holding, and an extra 20 points if they're holding the priority objective, which we roll randomly every wave to see which objective will be the priority objective. Next, we get the armies on the board. The defender is going to deploy within 9 inches of the center of the board, so 9 inches of that central objective, and then the attacker has to roll a dice to see who deploys where. So let's deploy the defenders. So here are the defenders all snug inside their compound in the middle. I'm not sure if, I'm pretty sure that these guys have the wrong size bases on them, but I just figured, the breacher cyborg equivalent is what they meant when they said shooters. I could be wrong, but here we got the robots on both sides. We got our Iron Walker there, and then we got both squads sticking out the sides. Now, time to deploy the attackers. For the attackers, deployment is a random board edge. You assign the board edges numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you roll a dice. Whatever number you roll, you deploy on that board edge up to 9 inches into the board. And on a 5 and 6, you choose which board edge to come in on. So I'm going to go through and roll for all the units, and then I'll show you where everybody ends up. So here we go for our deployments. Over here on table edge 1, we have a unit of dogs and a unit of strikers. Over here on table edge 2, the only thing we had here was the unit of elites that are going to be stuck right behind that forest, so nothing can see them at the moment. Table edge number 3, we got a unit of stalkers and a unit of elites, again, behind the difficult terrain, behind the forest, so no one can see them. And then over here on 4, we have our unit of dogs, getting ready to go jump on stuff in the middle. And then the only one we got to choose where it went was the Great Beast with a unit of stalkers in there. And we put it there, so it'll have easy access. So I was looking through the rules to see if it said like attacker or defender went first, and it doesn't. It says just play the game normally. So we get to roll up to see who goes first. Jackals get a 2. Machine Cult get a 2. Okay, I can see how this is going. Jackals get a 3, Machine Cult, get a 4. So Machine Cults are going to activate first on round 1. First activation, round number 1, the Ranger unit sees that they're a little bit of a predicament because those dogs could reach them if they charge. So they are going to move out. So they have moved out to there, and now they are going to fire at the dogs. So that Ranger unit, they have versatile attack. They're going to choose to get +1 to hit. 8 of them have carbines along with the cult leader, so all these are going to be hitting on a 3. Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 misses for that many hits. And then we have 2 of the plasma carbines, so that's 4 shots hitting on a 3. 2 hits there. So the dogs do have cover. That doesn't really matter for the plasma. That's going to be 2 there. And the rest of these save on 4. And the guns got shred, so if I roll a 1, it counts as 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go down for a total of 7. Dogs need to make a morale test on a 5. They fail. The guns of the machine cult ring out, dropping some dogs, and the dogs get a stunned marker. First activation for the jackals, our great beast is going to be moving forward. It doesn't have any guns, so it is able to move right up into the grill of that robot. Next activation for the machine called the Iron Walker is going to move to there, and then its laser cannon is going to fire at that great beast. The Iron Walker has 2 shots hitting on a 4. We got 1 hit. AP3, saving on a 5. No, even if it had a cover save, it wouldn't take it, but it's only 3 wounds. That great beast is down to 9 toughness. Next activation, the stalker's getting out of the great beast. 6 inches of movement out of the transport gets them to the top of the stairs into close combat with that unit of rangers. So here we go. The unit has furious, melee evasion, and precision fighter aura. So we're going to start off with a veteran hitting on a 4. 1 hit. We have 2 other AP4s in the squad that are close enough to fight. 1 hit. And then those 2 guys have 2 regular attacks along with a 3 in the second rank because, we are confined due to the terrain. That's all that's going to be able to fight, hitting on a 4. It is a furious, so that 6 means another 1 hits. So the 2 AP4s, 1 save, but we have to re-roll 6s because it's scrapper. 1 saves, and the rest on a 4. So they lose a total of 3. Now the 2 ranks fighting back from the machine cult is going to be everyone who's still alive. So it's going to be 7 guys plus the cult leader. Hitting on a 5 because of melee evasion for 2 hits. Saving on a 5. Failed them both. The Rangers lost combat, so they need a morale test. And they're good. After combat, it ends up looking like that. Next activation, the machine shooters are going to move forward to get an angle. All the machine shooters are going to be able to draw a path to at least one of the jackals, and because they have blast weapons, they ignore cover anyways, they're going to open fire. Our cult gunners have versatile attacks, so you get +1 to hit. They also have relentless, but we're too close for relentless to work. I don't think we're really going to need it. And they also have rending when shooting from the cult leader. So we're not going to worry about the cult leader yet, but everybody else hitting on a 3. All right, 2 misses. So we got 4 hits at blast 3. There's going to be 12. And rendering with shooting, we have 2 of them that are going to be AP4. So the AP4s, 2 of them saved, so there's 4. And then the rest on a 5. 3 of those saved, so they lose a total of 7. Morale test on a 5. They're going to fail. All of those explosions going off reduce the jackals down to that. Next to activate for the jackals will be the second unit of dogs. They're going to zoom all the way around the edge, trying to come in the back door. In that back door, Mr. Combat Robot decides he doesn't like that. The robot moves to there and it's going to open fire on those dogs. Mr. Robot has 8 shots with a lacerate hitting on a 4. 3 hits. Saving on a 5. They only lose 2 dogs. Yup. Next activation will be the unit of stalkers. And they are going to hold down that objective. Next to activate will be that unit of rangers that were assaulted by the stalkers. They're going to use their versatile attack to get +1 to hit, and they're going to fire at those stalkers that just came out of the woods. So they are fatigued, that doesn't affect shooting, and versatile attack, +1 to hit. First with the plasmas, on a 3. 3 hits. Then they have 7 shots hitting on a 3 with shred. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 misses. Ooh. So the shred, saving on a 5, they're going to lose 3 there because that 1 counts as 2. And then the 3 to AP4, that's going to be 3 dead. Meaning they lost enough for a morale test, and they fail. Probably should have stayed in the woods a little longer. Next activation is this unit of elites over on this side of the board. They're going to set up there, and then they're going to fire their rocket/missile into the back of Mr. Robot. So the elites have 1 shot hitting on a 4. That's a hit, even though there's the machine fog. This shot is unstoppable. AP2, defense 2, saving on a 4. He saves. Last activation for the machine cult this turn. The other robot down here is going to open up on the Great Beast. Sounds more impressive than it is. 8 shots hitting on a 4 with lacerate. Well, okay, 6 hits. The Great Beast saves on a 2. Ooh, reroll that 6. Did a whole lot of nothing. Jackal's got 3 more activations left. They are going to recover on these hounds. And then over there on that side, we're going to go ahead and move the elites and the stalkers. The stalkers move to grab that objective, and the elites, they're out of range of the shotguns. Don't want to fire a single rocket at that squad. They just move forward. So at the end of round 1, the Jackals were able to take 1 objective. Now, in Horde mode, whenever the attackers take an objective, they damage it. Put a point of damage on it. And if the objective takes 3 points of damage, then that objective is destroyed. So that objective has 2 points left. And I realize now I forgot to set the priority objective. So we're going to go ahead and set it now from this side. We got 1 in the middle, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see what we get. Number 3. So that's priority objective. So there's our priority objective. Now moving on into round number 2. Machine Cults are going to be going first, but Jackals have ambushers. The Jackals vultures have arrived, and that's really the only good place where they're not going to get shot immediately, and they have the potential of getting a charge off in their first activation. Now, let's actually start round 2. So this is one of those situations where playing against yourself, you can't catch yourself in your own gotchas. So first activation for the Machine Cult, that squad over there is going to move out of charge range of the vultures. Pulling back just a little bit, they are going to open fire at that unit of stalkers. So the unit of rangers, it has 4 AP, 4 shots. Oh, versatile attack hitting on a 3. There's going to be 3 hits at AP 4. And then with the leader, 10 more shots on a 3 with shred. So we got 7 hits there. Doing the shred first, saving on a 5. No shred, but they did fail 6 saves. And then the AP 4, 3 more for a total of 9 lost. Morale test on a 5. They're going to fail. Down to the veteran, 1 stalker, and stunned. First activation for the Jackals. The Great Beast is going to charge Mr. Robot. So the Great Beast has 4 attacks AP1, 6 attacks AP4. Let's start with the AP1s first on a 4. 1 hit, saving on a 3. That's a fail. And then the AP4s on a 4. Ooh, 1 hit, saving on a 6. That's a pass. Oh wait, Scrapper. No, so it takes 2, but it does have regeneration. It ends up taking 2. And then it fights back. 2 attacks AP1 on a 4. There's 2 hits. Saving on a 3. It takes 1. So the Great Beast has fear of 2. The robot has fear of 1. The Great Beast ended up winning by 2. So morale test for the combat robot on a 4. It's fine. Great Beast is down to 8. The combat robot's down to 4 because it only starts with 6. Next activation, the Rangers on top of the building, they are going to fire down into those dogs. Once again, versatile attack, we get +1 to hit. Carbines hitting on a 3. Ooh, only 3 hits. And then the plasmas. 4 hits. Shred carbines. That's going to be 3 wounds. And then AP4s. They fail all those. Taking a total of 7 wounds, morale test. It's going to fail. Leaving just 1 dog who wants to dig a hole and go hide. Next activation, the Jackals are going to move forward with the unit of elites. And they're going to shoot into the unit of Rangers. So they're all inside of 9, so machine fog does not matter at this point. Shooting with the rocket. That's going to miss. And the rest of the unit with shotguns hitting on a 4. 3 hits. You know, just break here. I cracked open another box, or another bundle of these. So I got a whole 100 new dice. And they suck. AP1, saving on a 5. Reroll the 6 for Scrapper. Nope, they lose 3. Bang. Machine Cult activation. Our Iron Walker is going to fire into the Great Beast. 2 shots hitting on a 4. 1 hit. AP3. There's another fail. 3 more wounds. Now that means it's time for the Great Beast to make a morale test. On a 4. It passes. Great Beast is down to 5. On the opposite flank, Mr. Robot is going to move, putting himself there, and then he's going to open up on the Stalkers. 8 shots, hitting on a 4. 6 hits, saving on a 5. You're going to take 5. Leaving just the veteran who is stunned. This unit of elites, they're going to move to there, and then they're going to fire a rocket into the robot. 1 shot on a 4. It hits. So that is AP2, saving on a 4. That's a fail, and because it is unstoppable, it ignores regeneration. Putting the robot to half. Morale test, it fails, but it is fearless. It's good. Whack! Next to activate is the second robot. He decides to turn and clear up that unit of Stalkers. 8 shots on a 4. I missed the box with one of them. 5 hits. Saving on a 5, reroll 6s for lacerate. Ooh, reroll those 2 6s. No! 5 wounds through, there was only 4 wounds left there. Next activation for the Jackals. The Stalker is going to recover. The last activation for the Machine Cult are Cult of Shooters. We're going to try to get up on top of stuff to give us line of sight. So we were able to get 5 of them up there, and they are going to fire into that unit of Stalkers. Is it overkill? Yes, but I don't want that objective being destroyed. 5 of them are able to see over there. Versatile attack, we're going to be hitting on a 3. Oh, look at that, they all hit. We did have Relentless, but not a single 6. So they have Rending from shooting with the leader. They are AP1 Blast of 3. There's only 2 models over there, so that means we get 10 hits total, saving on a 6. That's enough. Blam, blam. Now with the Machine Cult all done, we have these 2 units over here to move. The dog's going to take that objective, and the vultures jumped over that building. Now that the shooters are up top there, they're in the danger zone. And lastly, that dog's going to recover for the end of round number 2. So our unit of dogs that got beat up on turn 1, they have taken this objective, and they're going to put a point of damage on it. On to round 3. Round number 3, those shooters, they are in the danger zone, so they're going to do something about it. Hopping up top, they're going to fire at the vultures. Versatile attack on a 3. So they're going to have 4 hits, which turns into 12. AP1, saving on the 5. There go 10, meaning it's down to just the leader. Morale test on that elite veteran. He's going to pass, though. In the Jackal's army, if you move fast, you die fast. Next activation, the unit of Hounds is going to charge in. Now, this is the one time that Machine Fog is going to come into effect. -1 to hit because they charge from over 9 inches away. So hitting on a 6. 1 hit. Saving on a 4. That's a fail. Total of 6 Rangers and the leader left fighting back on a 4. 2. Saving on a 5. They fail. Dogs need a morale test on a 5. They're gone. Next activation, Mr. Robot's moving towards the priority objective. And he's going to blast that veteran. 8 shots on a 4. 2 hits. Saving on a 5. Fails them both. Thank goodness I was going to get angry at them dice. Mr. Great Beast. Charging into the robot again. 6 attacks AP4. 4 hits. 4 attacks AP1. 1 hit. For the AP1, saving on a 3. Fails. For the AP4, saving on a 6. Reroll 6 for Scrapper. Fails all of those. Now it does have regen. Regeneration on a 5. 1 wound left. Attacking back on a 4. 2 hits. Saving on a 3. Fails 1. Morale test for the robot. It's going to pass. That robot's getting real close to a breakdown. Unit of Rangers is going to activate next. They're going to put their AP4s plus the leader's carbine into the elites, and then the rest of them are going to fire into the vulture. Versatile attack, we're going to hit on a 3. 3 hits there. Those are the AP4s, and then the 2 from the leader. 2 hits there. So the AP4s on a 6, they pass 1, and then the leader carbine on a 4 with shred. There's another 3. That is the squad. And then 4 shots into the vulture. 3 hits, saving on a 4. It takes 2. Morale test for the vulture. It's going to fail. So the elites are gone, and the vulture's down to 1 and stunned. Once again, these elites over here in the woods, they are going to take a shot at that robot over there. Thank goodness for a 30-inch range, hitting on a 4. That's not going to do it. This robot is going to activate, putting itself at the top of the stairs and firing at the Great Beast. 8 shots on a 4. Whew, okay, there we go. 5 hits. Saving on a 2, re-rolling 6s. It takes 1. Well, morale test on a 4. It fails. Down to 3 and stunned. Vulture's going to activate, just recovering. Then our guys on top of the building, they're going to move around a little bit. They're going to put themselves there. Now, the robot is on the other side of that wall, and my leader there is going to use Mend. Plus, everybody else, the carbines are all within 18 inches, and then the plasma's got 24-inch range. They're going to fire at those elites over there. First, we're going to mend the robot for D3. Oh, he gets 3 back. Then we have the 5 carbines. Oh, versatile attack hitting on a 3. They all hit. And then the 4 plasma shots. 3 hits. Cover for the carbines, saving on a 3. They save them all. And then for the AP4, 2 to 6. They take 2. So Mr. Robot goes to 4 wounds left. And 2 of the elites go down. Next activation, this dog just going to be a pain in the butt and contest that objective. Then last activation this turn goes to the Machine Cult. Iron Walker backs up, firing at the Great Beast. 2 laser cannon shots on a 4. Whiff. So that brings us to the end of round number 3. Round number 4 is going to start. The Jackals get to go first. The Elite Veteran sees his chance, and he's going to charge into the shooters. Mr. Elite Veteran, first we're going to hit them with a crossing attack. Nope, nothing. Then we got 3 attacks, hitting on a 3 at AP2. 2 hits. Okay, 2 of the Cult Gunners. Oh my goodness, they save. So let's say you got 3 Gunners and the Cult Leader over there, hitting on a 4. 3 hits, saving on a 4. That 3 will do it. That will be the end of Mr. Vulture. Next activation, all the shooters up there with their 30-inch range are going to fire at those elites. Versatile attack, hitting on a 3. It's going to be 15 hits. Ignores cover because it's blast, and 6 of those are going to be AP4 from rending. Let's just go ahead and do the rending first. Yeah, that's enough. Splat. Next activation for the Jackals, the Great Beast is going to recover. And then for the Machine Cult, the Iron Walker is going to fire at it again. 2 shots on a 4. 1 hit, saving on a 5. That'll do it. Last 3 wounds gone. Lightning round for the rest of round number 4. That dog's going to stay there. The robot's going to turn around and blast them. That squad in the building used their mend ability to heal Mr. Robot over here up to full. And then the robot is going to move out towards that objective. And what's left of this squad over here is going to move to that objective. So the end of round number 4, the Machine Cult have taken objective 1, 2, 3, and 5. But being Horde mode, this happens. Everything in the enemy's army that was killed or shaken comes back on the board. I'm going to take a break from my Jackals dying to talk to you about PrintedStarships.com. At PrintedStarships.com, he has a whole lot more than just spaceships. He's expanded his catalog in 6, 15, and 28 millimeter, including Station Forge, and now including Papsicle. If you use the link down in the description below, you get 20% off at checkout. Again, that's PrintedStarships.com. A lot more than just spaceships. Hey everybody, we're back for day number 2. Here's a quick pointer if you're going to play Horde mode. Don't start at 9 o'clock at night. You will not finish. Now, we get to go through, and there's experience points. in Horde mode. You get 3 points for killing a unit, 5 points for killing a hero, and if you kill a unit like these stalkers over here, that's a unit and a hero, it's 8 points. And for every 5 points, you get a level up. And the different levels up are extra inches to move, extra morale, +1 to hit, +1 to defense rolls, re-roll a dice each round, or you can pick something on that chart. So we're gonna go around and roll some experience points, roll some leveling up for these dudes. That unit of Rangers right there ended up with 14 points. So they get 2 levels up. They got a 1 and a 3. +1 to hit with either melee or shooting. We're gonna choose shooting, and plus inches to move, +1/+2. Our unit of shooters here ended up with 8 XP. They got a 2, which is +1 to morale. This combat robot over here ended up with 11, so he gets 2 levels up, which is going to be 2 2s, which means I get to reroll one of them. 2, okay. 2 2 4. +1 to defense rolls and +1 to morale. Second robot over here is 8 points, so he ends up with a 1 extra movement. And then our Rangers in the building over here, they don't have any points because all they did was they weakened a whole bunch of units but didn't kill anybody. And then our Iron Walker, again, it only killed 1 unit. So it was the Great Beast, still only worth 3. Now we get to figure out which one of the objectives is now the priority objective. We have it on number 3, but if we get a 3 again, we'll re-roll it. A 1, right in the middle. Now at the end of the wave, you can spend the points that you accumulated from taking the objectives on either upgrades for units or new units. With 4 objectives plus having the priority objective, that gives us 180 points. And what's 180 points? A unit of sect stalkers. So now as we move on into round number 5, we're not going to do the dice rolling on camera because we're just going to try to speed through this and show you guys what happened. Kind of have the narrative go. I'll tell you what happened, just not with dice rolls. Jackals get to go first. First activation of round 5. These stalkers are within range to charge into that unit of Rangers. Time for them to tear it up. The Jackals charging in knocks it down to just the leader remaining. Squad leader attacks back, killing nobody, and then fails his morale test. The freshly arrived sect stalker is going to charge into those dogs. The sect stalker is cut down to 1 dog. The dog fights back, doesn't kill anybody, but it does pass its morale test. On this flank over here with the wounded robot, the Great Beast is going to charge in. The Great Beast takes 2 wounds off the robots, and the robot beats it back for 2 wounds. Robot passed morale. Our other combat robot is going to move up to cover the objective. And then blast them dogs. Blast is kind of a harsh word, it only kills 3. Our elites in the woods have a vendetta against that robot. Moving forward enough to contest, they're going to blast it. The rocket missed. The shotguns did not hurt it because of its now +1 to save. Mr. Robot is going to beat a hasty retreat back to the building. And then he's going to open fire on those elites. The dice said no with a whole whopping 2 hits. Only killed 1. Second group of elites on the other side are going to move forward and then fire at that robot. Rocket hit, armor save passed, and 1 shotgun round was able to do a wound. The building ranger is going to move forward to assist Mr. Robot downstairs and then use their mend ability, giving the robot back 2 of its wounds. And then they are going to fire their carbines into the elites and then all of their plasma into the Great Beast. Putting 3 wounds on the Great Beast, and only 1 got through from the carbines, but it did shred. Morale test passed. These dogs gonna get that robot. The dogs came in and did nothing. The robot fought back and did nothing. But the robot has fear of 1, the dogs failed the morale test. Our unit of shooters is gonna stay where they're at and fire at that unit of stalkers over there. 5 hits with blast, 15 hits, failed 9 saves, failed morale test. Unit of stalkers getting out of the Great Beast are going to charge that combat robot. Fuck, none of them hits. So when the stalkers attacked, all of their AP4 weapons missed. They were able to get 1 attack through, or 1 wound through with the regular attacks. Robot fought back, killed 1 with fear of 1 combat, and then the Stalkers failed the morale test. The Iron Walker needs to reposition to fire at that Great Beast. It's the Iron Walker's only viable target. It hit with one laser, failed the armor save, passed morale test. Down to 4 wounds on that Great Beast. Now the Machine Cult is done. The Jackal's going to do all their moving. These Stalkers to that objective. And then that dog moving to that objective. So at the end of round 5, all the objectives that the Jackals have take another point of damage. And with that, we move on to round number 6. First activation of round 6, we're going to mend and then shoot those Stalkers. Giving the combat robot back 2 more wounds and taking out 7 of the Stalkers. The Great Beast once again going to charge the robot. 5. Finally, with a stroke of better luck from the Great Beast, the combat robot explodes. That unit of shooters on the building, they're content to stay right there and fire at that unit of Stalkers. Once again, 15 hits, taking the veteran down to 1 wound less. The rest of the squad is dead, and he fails his morale test. These elites moving forward, firing at the robot. Rocket misses, but again, a shotgun was able to sneak through the armor. The Sex Stalker is going to charge what's left of that Stalker squad. And they finish it off. The elites holding on to this objective are going to fire their rockets over at that combat robot over there. It hits, but it makes its armor save. The Iron Walker's going for a little bit of a Hail Mary, putting itself there to have line of sight to that Stalker veteran leader. It hit it twice. It failed its armor save twice. He blew the crap out of that guy. This squad of Stalkers going to recover. This combat robot turns and fires at the elites, and it takes out 2. Last activation this round, these dogs are going to recover. So at the end of the round, this objective over here is now contested. That objective no longer has any Jackals around to damage it, and this objective has been knocked down to 1 point of damage remaining. On to round number 7. I can hear you now. Fitz, did you forget about the Vultures? No, I remember the Vultures are there. I just don't want to bring them in yet. Because this unit of shooters, they are going to fire over here at those dogs. And those dogs have been removed. The unit of elites is going to fire at the robot and do absolutely nothing. The unit in the building is going to split their fire. We are going to put the plasma and the Great Beast and everything else into those Stalkers. Great Beast lost 2 wounds, passed morale test, and then the Stalkers just ceased to be. Next, that Great Beast, with a pretty darn good bounding roll, is able to get into the Iron Walker. Because Machine Fog was in effect, it was able to put 1 wound on the Iron Walker, and then the Iron Walker attacked back and put 1 wound on the Great Beast. Once again, this unit of elites is going to fire a missile over at the combat robot. It hit, and then it passed its armor save. Iron Walker responds by taking a shot, and blowing the Great Beast off the board. Now here at the end of round 7, Jackal still has control of this objective, so it takes 1 more point of damage, and it is removed from the game. At the beginning of turn number 8, there are the Vultures. Jackals get to go first, and guess what? The Vultures are doing this. The Vultures are able to rip apart the Cult shooters, taking arguably the strongest squad they had off the board. This combat robot is going to fire at those elites. Doing 3 wounds just barely does enough to take them out. This unit of elites over here is going to move to there, and they will be able to get a shot across the bow with a cover save at the Iron Walker. The shot was able to snake across the side of the building, hit the Iron Walker, and do 3 wounds. Then the Iron Walker passes morale. Mr. Iron Walker is going to move up next to the building. That Hound charges into the Sect Stalkers. It takes 1 out, but then they in turn massacre it. Our Roof Rangers over here. The leader with men moves to where he can fix the Iron Walker, giving you 3 wounds back, and then everybody else is going to fire at those elites. Yeah, they blew the crap out of them. So that is the end of round number 8. The Machine Cult hold those 3 objectives over there. That one's gone, and the one directly below the camera, Nobody holds that at the moment. So now they get, they do have the priority, so they have 3+ priority, 110 points. Let's see what we can get. The only thing they can get for 110 points is just 5 more naked rangers there in them. So now we're going to go on to the third wave, or round 9. The only jackal unit on the board are the vultures. They're going to stay right there. Everything else is going to respawn, and we are going to roll for deployment. Here comes the third wave, and I bet they would look best on Corvus terrain. At Corvus terrain, you will find FDM supportless. If you go to Corvus terrain and use the discount code down in the description, you get 15% off of your order. You can never have enough terrain. Go check out Corvus terrain today. So this was hilarious. All 3 of those units rolled 1 right after the other. And then over here on number 2, we got the 2 units of elites. And then on 3, we got dogs. And on 4, we got dogs with the vulture still in the middle. And as far as XP and stuff goes, these guys up here, +1 to hit. These guy down here, +1 to defense rolls. And then plus movement. On to round number 9. Jackals go first. Now, first up is going to be the vultures. Not everybody can reach, but enough of them can. So 3 plus the elite veteran are able to reach over there. Through all the fighting, 4 of the rangers go down, 2 of the vultures go down, and then we need a morale test, which the rangers fail. And with a 3-inch move, everybody else gets up on the building. Our sexist stalkers charge into the dogs. They kill off 7 of the dogs. The dogs kill off 1 in return, and then fail their morale test. Mr. Great Beast, once again, going in for the kill. The combat robot goes down to 2 wounds, fights back, doesn't do anything, and then fails its morale test. This unit of new rangers fire over here at the vultures and do precisely nothing. 2 hits, and they're able to pass their armor save. That unit of elites is moving forward. Then they are going to fire at Mr. Ironwalker. They're able to sneak in 1 shotgun round, and the rocket hit and went through the armor. Then it failed its morale test. The only activation left for the machine cult is the Ironwalker. It's going to recover. Our second unit of elites, they're going to move forward to there, fire at the same target, Mr. Ironwalker. Not even making it to the rocket, the shotguns finish him off. Then our unit of dogs are going to charge him stalkers. Because of machine fog, they're able to hit and kill 1 of them, and they kill 1 dog in return. Tied combat. And then we got these 2 squads of stalkers. At the end of round 9, that objective takes some damage. That objective over there is contested, and technically the Machines Cult still hold this one. On to round number 10! Machine Cult go first. We're going to start over here with a charge. They take 2 out on the charge, and in return, the dogs cut them down. And then what is probably going to be the last activation, these jackals are going to charge those rangers. And the vultures absolutely end those rangers. That will be the end of today's Horde mode. Alright guys, so I'm totaling up the points to see what the total points were that I scored from the machine cults. And I realized I screwed up. I was supposed to do waves on 1, 4, 7, and 10. I ended up doing waves on 1, 5, 9, and it would have been into level 12, or round 12. So, because we made it to round 10, you could have said that we got to the 4th round, which would be 1,160 points, but we technically only had 3 total waves, so 870 points. We'll say that's what I got. 870 points is the high score that I achieved for this. The high score is nothing more than just for your own personal, see where you got to. So guys, that is Horde mode. I was asked if I recommend it. Yes, I do recommend it. It is a fun game type to play. What I don't recommend is sparking this up in the evening and suspecting that you are going to be done by like an hour or 2. No. Horde mode seems to be good if you got 3, 4, 5 hours to spend on it. Something that you want to plan it out. I think putting a defensive structure, kind of like I did in the middle, would be the way to go. You know, defenders having to defend something, giving them a little bit of advantage over the waves and waves and waves of stuff that's going to be coming in. The experience points and the leveling up of the units, I like it. That is pretty cool. It allows units that have been there from the beginning to get stronger, and maybe, hopefully, your good ones will be the ones that level up. So with that in mind, go out there, play some Horde mode. Let me know down in the comments how you found it. Did you like it? That's going to do it for me, and I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are. I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.